Hey everybody, it's Erin from Erin Reed Makes, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really cool crepe paper flower bouquet using an upcycled box, just some leftover ribbon that I had, and this lovely crepe paper, petal paper from Die Cuts The View. Let's get started. So the crepe paper comes in, well, this particular crepe paper comes in 2 rolls. So these are 10 inches by 49 inches, and just look at these beautiful colors. You guys know me, these are my favorite colors. All right, let's learn how to make a flower. Using the exact same method, you can make 2 different types of flowers. It's just all in the shape of the petal. This is a rounded petal, and this petal has a point. So we're gonna make the pointed petal right now. So some supplies you need to make this particular type of flower, and sorry about the wind, my AC turned on because we're getting hot here in Texas, is we have the darker blue, a bigger section of that. We have a smaller section of the lighter blue, so we're actually gonna not use anywhere near as much of this unless we reverse the colors. Totally can. Some floral wire, which we're gonna show that. Something to cut the floral wire, scissors, and glue. That's it. All right, so for the first step, we're gonna take a little bit of the lighter color, and you can switch it. You can do the darker color on the outside, the lighter color on the inside. But we're gonna do the lighter color. Fold this in half, and just go ahead and start slicing this, going all the way down, not all the way through. You wanna have it be halfway. And you can make them a little bit thin, a little bit thicker. It's completely up to you, and go all the way down. All right, now open it up, and you can see it looks like you have this like great accordion, and this is a 2-for-1 deal. You only have to do that once, and then come in and slice this going right down the middle, just like that, and then save one for another flower. Now this is half of a floral wire that I've just snipped in half from the main one, and we're gonna fold over the top to give yourself a little bit of an easier chance of connecting this to the floral wire. So make yourself a little tiny loop just like this, and then just go ahead and add a little bit of glue. Hot glue would work, wet glue, really whatever strikes your fancy on whatever kind of glue you like using personally. And then just take this piece, this little fringy piece you just made, and wrap this all around the top. Just keep on going around and around and around. Don't worry about the little loop, it's gonna get covered up eventually. You're never gonna see it. It just gives you a little bit more of a base to attach your inside of your flower to. And then once you get to the end, a little bit of glue just to finish that off. And then just kind of press it tight when you're all done, and that is the center of your flower. Now it's time to make the petals. So we're gonna take one section of this, fold it in half, and then fold it in half. And the direction you're cutting your petals makes a big difference. And we wanna cut all of our petals so the bottom of the petal right here, and the petals, the lines go vertically, right? So when you're ready to cut your petals, just come in, and we're gonna do the smallest ones first. You're gonna wanna do about 20 petals total per flower, and all of them are gonna have the lines going vertically. And this makes a big difference because this is the purpose of crepe paper. Now, if you've cut it and you end up getting a crease in the middle, just go ahead and cut through that crease, because you wanna have 4 distinct petals. So you could probably get away with doing maybe 1 or 2 more folds, but I think 4 folds is good. I'm gonna cut another set of petals with, again, the lines going vertically on the petal, a little bit bigger and bigger, so small, medium, large, extra large. All right, so I have 16 petals for this particular flower, small, medium, large, extra large, and keep them in the respective sizes. So now it's time to take our petals. This is where the vertical alignment really matters, and it's totally fine that they're not perfectly shaped and they're all different. Flowers are different, it's awesome. Take your thumbs and just pull gently until you're kind of stretching the petal, and then look at that awesome shape. It really does make a cool petal shape. So here's another one I've already done, and you can really see the cool shapes of them. You're gonna do this to every single one of your petals. So I'm just gonna speed that part up for you. And that's for all the sizes, every single petal. So all 16 petals for this flower. All right, so I've got all my petals pulled, and I've got this guy that's kind of dried up, my center. I'm gonna start with the smallest petal first, and go back to your glue and add a little bit of glue going all the way around, or we could just do for one section. You're gonna do each petal individually. And go ahead and place your first petal, not the pointed tip or rounded tip, depending on how you're doing it, but the flat ends down. And then just wrap it around. Add a little bit more glue, kind of seal it up, add one more petal, flat end down, encasing your little centerpiece right here, and kind of wrap it in there. And if your stem's getting too long, you can just kind of fold it over. Gives you a little bit more pliability. And then just really squeeze tight to make sure everything is nice and firm. And then you're gonna come in this time, because we've done opposite, now we're gonna go like on the 4 corners. We're gonna go the opposite corner. So you've got 4 petals. You're gonna do the same thing going all the way around. This time go opposite. Now between each one, what I like to do is I like to come in and really squeeze the tips of my flowers right here and really kind of squeeze that tight. I'm gonna add the last section. So think about it being 4 corners. East, west, north, south. So now I'm going into the last section, whichever one you wanna call it. Let's call it south. So we're gonna go to the last section, and that is our smallest petal. The other thing you can do is you can come in and you can do a little twist. Just make sure you're twisting the same direction. So I always go twist away from me. I pull the flower towards me and twist rolling away, and it just kind of tightens everything up against the wire. Now I'm gonna go to the next largest and do the exact same thing, and then to the next largest and all the way to the largest. Going into the 4 corners, adding glue each time. I'm trying to keep the same base. I don't want my flower to go down the stem. I want my flower to build outwards. So try not to go any lower on your flower. Keep building on top of it as you're going along. And don't worry if it looks a little too close. At the very end, once you're done adding all of your petals on there, you're going to fluff this out and make it look super pretty. Or you can leave it closed and more like a bud. It's really up to you. It's your flower. And all flowers are different, so every single one's gonna look a tiny bit different, and that is totally awesome. So I've added all 16 petals on there, and now it's time to kind of fluff it up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold it from the base and start pulling from the outside leaves and just kind of start pulling them out one at a time. And this is to make your flower a little more open, as if all the petals have gone. You could also give this a little bit of time to dry before you start pulling. Here's the same flower, but I kept it a little bit more tight, and obviously the petals are maybe a little bit of a different shape. They might be a little wider, but here's more of an open version, and here's a closed version with the pointed tip. And here's the exact same flower again, but with a rounded petal. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some more of these, same thing, but I might change up some of the colors. I've got other colors of crepe paper, maybe alternate the colors, have the inside be dark and the outside be the light color, and just kind of play around, and then we're gonna assemble it to make our finished product. So I finished making all these amazing flowers. I added a few more petals to the ones that I showed you. Some I did rounded petals, some I did the spiky petals. I just kind of played and have fun with it. And then I also had another color. It's this beautiful Merlot color that you can see here. And I had a tiny, tiny little bit of some gold left. So I had a couple that have some gold center. So I really played around with, you know, what paired with what, and kind of had fun with just like the different arrangements. Now it's time to put it all together. So I love to upcycle stuff, and this is actually the bottom of a box. I think like a watch came in or something. It actually says like Jones, New York. I just love the glitteriness of it all. And so taking a leftover box is such a great way just to upcycle and turn it into like a little vase, a little desk piece. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put a little bit, because I want to see that Jones, New York, and I also want to add a little bit of something kind of rustic to this, just to kind of change it up. So I'm adding some glue going all around the edge, and you can see this trim I have right here. It's going all around the edge with that. And I want my trim to kind of stand up a little bit, to give myself a little bit of a lip, because we're gonna put a little piece of styrofoam in here, and my styrofoam is not the right size. It's actually a little bit too small. So this is gonna hide my oopsie. So just going all the way around. When I get to right here, I'm gonna overlap just a tiny, tiny bit of this, just right here. and then we're gonna snip off that extra. And this will become the back side. So that is now the back. So now I'm just gonna place a little bit of glue in the center here to put my styrofoam so the styrofoam stays put inside of here. So just a couple of dabs do ya, and my glue is done. So I have all my amazing flowers. Now I have my styrofoam. I'm just gonna plop my styrofoam right in here, and see how I said it just was a little bit too small, but that's totally cool. And now I've got this beautiful trim that goes all the way up. It's got this nice little fringe. I just thought it was a good color combination. Cream and gold look awesome. So now it's just a matter of putting all the flowers in. So I'm gonna start off with the side. There we go, and just kind of fluff them up. And the cool thing is that because that trim is there, it's kind of hiding the fact that I haven't gone all the way down. So just kind of pull a couple of the petals down like that, and then come in with another flower. And kind of nestle it really close together, kind of fluff them up together. There we go, push it down. And if you notice, I did trim my stems. You can probably see this. I did trim my stems to be a lot shorter. Here you can see right here. They're a lot shorter than what they originally had from the half. So that way it would fit inside of here better. If you were doing a tall vase or something, you'd want to keep your stems a little bit longer. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this guy in right about here. There, just really make this nice and full. Let's do another blue over here. I'm kind of trying to make sure that the colors are all a little different. So that blue there. Kind of pull this guy. I don't want to see too much of the edge, so I'm going to kind of pull this one. This is the beauty of that crepe paper. Look, it's already starting to get so full and beautiful. And then I'm going to put one in the middle, right here. Right there. Kind of fluff it. And then I have one more here and one more for here. So let's go with the beautiful teal color again, right here in the corner. There we go. And then I have one more little spot right there. And pop that guy right in there. And look at that, so cool. So 7 flowers for this cute little topiary vase. And you know, the glue is almost set. It's super lightweight, something beautiful you can put on your mantle. I love the color combinations. If you wanted to put small little rosebuds in here, you could as well, but there's really no bad spot. I mean, it's all so gorgeous. If you wanted to play around with play with your petals, kind of tuck them in. If you wanted to add some leaves to this or just keep it as beautiful flowers, it's all really, really cool. Thank you guys so much for stopping in and learning how to make these beautiful paper flowers. They're absolutely gorgeous with a pointed tip or a rounded tip. Change the colors of the centers, play with it. Even if you only have a couple of colors, there's 4 different flowers you can make. You can do the pointed tip with the center, rounded tip with the same center, or flip them and do the opposite direction for the colors, where you have the lighter color on the outside and the darker color on the inside. Or you can even add a 3rd color into the mix and play around with that and even add some more texture, or even a 4th color just as a little hint if you just have a tiny bit left. Please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Links for supplies are down in the information section, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye, everybody.